Fantastic to have you on board today, Allana. I am so looking forward to chatting with you. Thank you for coming on the show today. And I especially wanted to share your story because I know that you're running a really great massage business at the moment, that you've chosen this career after working in a couple of other businesses, and that you've also made it onto the Standards Council with the new things that are happening with the association. But before we get into all of that sort of stuff, just introduce yourself and let us know a little bit about your business as it is right now, what you do, what modalities you practice, that kind of thing.
Well, I'm in partnership with another therapist who's actually been in the massage industry as a massage therapist for 40 years. You know, we got into this because the most important thing was that people weren't being treated in the way that we thought they should be in massage therapy. I came from a corporate industry with auditing. I was in information technology, and I did a trip to India, and I was at uni, and I worked out that, and I had massages over there, and people say when you go to India, things either change you or they complete you.
Okay.
I came back, and my business partner, because we were actually training party plan companies in a different business of mine, got very ill. And as an ex-nurse, it came back to me to think, well, what's the most important thing? Do I create systems, be detached from people, because that's what happens in IT or information management or record management, all that stuff, or do I start to touch people again and try and do something that I'm good at? So I went back and studied all over again. And then my business partner said to me, look, I need a hand. You know, she wasn't a business partner at the time. I need someone. Can you come and get involved with me? I've got too many clients. And so I started studying, started doing a couple of massages at home. Then the demand came up. You know, I got to 65 people in my home. And I was like, oh my God, I can't be doing 65 people in this place. So we stepped out and started a business.
What does the business actually look like at the moment?
It's actually what we currently have is we base out of a prestige suburb here in Perth, and that suburb we're actually moving next month to a more it's got a better zoning. Like we can only work certain hours, certain amount of consultants at a certain amount of time, so many car parks, or Shire regulations. So with us, we're just about 1,000 clients on our books. We've actually got more that evolved because your clients, as you know, they go and come. They don't go to you to stay with you forever. It's not a marriage. It's purely a need. They need something of you, and that's what you're going to supply. And if you believe that they belong to you, then you're fooling yourself. It actually is about them. They will come to you, and in our business, we let them choose whoever they want to go to. It's not just me or just Peter or just Lee or just anyone else. It's who do you want to go with and what do you need? And we'll say to them and we'll advise them, you know, I think you just need a full relax. You don't need me to be remedial on you or myofascial or shiatsu or whatever I'm doing, because I do a lot of stuff. I said, you need to go and have a hot stone relaxation. Okay, and they go, oh, great. And then some of them might say, oh, but will my other lady be upset? And I go, no, it's your choice. If you go to a mechanic, you don't say to them, is it okay if I go to another mechanic? You just go. You know, same with doctors. You just go. So we're no different. We don't own you. It is about you. And I think if you're coming from that in a business sense and you actually look at the client as a client and not your property. See, a lot of us get into this industry because we care about people, a bit like nursing. We care. And you can get caught up with caring too much. And that can deplete you.
Yeah, interesting. And it is about also, I guess, being aware of your own energy and making sure you care enough for yourself that you can then give to the clients.
Being present is so important.
Yeah, that's great. So what about, like you mentioned, you do pass clients around between the different practitioners there. What's
And different other modalities. If they need a physio or they need something else, we'll say, look, you've got to go see a doctor. It's important because it's about their health and well-being. It's about them getting power back in their own body. To me, that's why we work with everything. We're quite holistic. I'm a juice therapist as well, nutrition, and we work with the whole lot. If they come to me, I'm going to say to them straight away, have you looked at how your feet are? And most people go, but we've been taught to stand straight. And I have a little thing I do with every client that's 11 o'clock, 1 o'clock, because I'm ex-army, and standing at ease is one of the best things you can do. It straightens you up, have your feet out at 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock, and then do Dolly Parton. And everybody knows Dolly Parton. So when you do Dolly Parton, you drop your shoulders and lift. And as soon as people change that, it's amazing how they empower themselves. And I say to them, look, you don't have to be paying me millions of dollars. Go and check your nutrition. Check the way you're thinking, Really look at you. It's about you, We can massage you and massage you and massage you forever and take your money. But that's not what it's about. It's about you leaving and feeling well. Okay? If we need to do a program, we'll do a program. But I don't believe in this continuous where you sit there with people and just book them in willy-nilly. But we do have a VIP program, and we do have a pensioner, disabled and seniors and veteran affairs program.
Yeah, great. What does it look like then when you are giving someone advice about who to see within your team? I guess there must be still the person who they've come in to see first must kind of recommend the next person along in the chain, or does a bit of diagnosis, a bit of treatment, and then just knows, oh, this is going to be perfect for you next. And I can see that as a clinic, as something where you've got multiple staff, that would work really, really well for getting better outcomes for clients, and also really for retention, because the more you can offer them, the more they can get from you, the more value they get from what you do. Do you have any ways of maybe giving advice to anyone who might be just working by themselves or in a clinic that maybe just focuses on massage? How could they maybe leverage the same kind of thing into their situation?
Well, that's one of the things. See, doing statistics and finance and stuff at uni, that helped. One of the things is people need to recognise that the biggest market is people over 60. The shape of the world is going to be a mushroom. It's a top level of people. All the baby boomers are hitting that now. And if you can honour them, because a lot of them are self-funded retirees. A lot of them are people who they retire because they can afford to, or they'll turn around and go, yeah, I'm going back to work. Like I have 75-year-olds who've gone and started consulting again. But what you do is set up a program where you honour them. It's about, to me, we don't charge any more than $55 for a pensioner for an hour's massage.
Wow.
Why? Because we book them every week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks. It's more about the quality than the quantity. In other words, we want them coming back. We don't want to just go in there and say, okay, I'm going to charge you $130 and da-da-da-da-da, and off you go. I wouldn't pay that, in this current market, and being very aware of your market is really important. I'm booked for 2 years. I have probably, I think, 1 or 2 spaces every week that I can put someone in.
Yeah,
and I don't tell people that. And that is not because I'm brilliant. It's because, one, you put the energy into the client. Sure, everyone's taught that when they go to college and stuff. But the most important thing is enabling them. We treat them as if they're a VIP. Every one of them's VIP. So if you're working on your own, they come to just you and they think you're it, and you can be there for them. Sure, we don't diagnose, but we can advise. You can actually say to them, set it up. It's an attractive place. Your prices are good. You actually do check everything. Their bed. We have sheets on our beds. We treat because a couple of us are ex-nurses. We actually have some practitioners who have got masters, and they've changed their lifestyle. So it's very much about people who are very tuned in Our place is appointment only. You can't just walk in. That's our current one. Our new one, we are going to evolve. But it's still the same thing. So when somebody comes in, that from the moment we train, when the staff are there and they're subbies, they're not employees, we will actually teach them from day one. This is about the client. So that client's going to come to you and it's going to trust you. It's going to trust you straight away with the advice you give it. It's going to think you know more. That client is going to believe you've got its intentions at the right spot. It's also going to sit down and hope that you're going to let it feel as it leaves out of the place. And I'm saying it as in but it is like that. You have to treat it as if it's not your property. It is something that is valuable and fragile. And the other thing we do is we introduce different hours and times. So if you come to us and you're a pensioner or a senior or a disabled or a veteran, you are going to undercut our prices by $15 for every level. So if you go a 60-minute, a 90-minute, a 45-minute or whatever, you're going to get, even our packages are totally orientated towards them. But we also have a VIP program. Now that's another thing they can do. And I started that working out of my room from home. And I set that up to say, well, if you want to come to me every week, then you're gold. And if you come to me as a gold, I'm going to give you the same price as the pensioners. And if you're going to come to me, and it works, and they're not logged in. So if they don't come, and this is the thing that I found, if they don't come, they let you know because they respect you. It's a loyalty-based program. If they're a silver, they're 2 weekly, and so on. And we go up to 6 weeks. But as they go longer, we give them more time. Yeah. So at 5 weeks, they're getting $75 for 70 minutes, right? So to them, they're going, I know, I fly back in, bang, bang, and that's it. And I know that's my spot. And if I can't have that spot, you're going to find me another one. And that's become that need. And when they come in, same thing again. It doesn't matter how often you see them. Everything is about them.
You're absolutely right. I find that really interesting. And the way that you're describing this, it sounds very intuitive, actually. It sounds like a great way to run a business like this. Yeah. It's also a little bit different to what I think most people would be familiar with as far as the way that they get clients in. And that idea of a VIP package where someone is coming in every week or every couple of weeks on a regular cycle, how does that work as far as things like payments go? Do they pay just each week as they come in, or do they have to pay in advance? How does that work?
No, we don't work ever without offering the service. If they don't get the service, they don't pay.
Yeah, great.
And that's a practice we pay. We've seen a few different specialists who will set up 12-month programs and you've got to pay 2 weekly and all this stuff. And people get highly stressed. It's about reducing the cortisol in people, not necessarily building it up. So we say to them, we get them to sign a contract, but the contract is about more of respect, that we respect you, so we will let you know. Because we have a thing like, if you don't let us know after 2 times, we're going to take you off your VIP program. And we've only had 2 who've ever done that. So that's fine. So, but we check with them, and every time they come in, we say to them, okay, your next appointment is that time with that person at that day, Is that going to be okay? But that's okay because we have a program, Timely, which is a very good little program. It's made in New Zealand, that will actually let them know 48 hours by SMS and 24 hours by email if they can't come. So we have also a policy that they can not cancel up to 3 hours before, because we have a waiting list of people who want to jump in. Also, we don't take it on as the end of the world. When we set up our finances and the way our business runs, we set up on the lowest amount possible. The lowest amount that my business partner and I could earn, or one of us could earn, to keep everything going. So we never set it up as the highest amount.
So you're kind of like saying, well, this is the minimum we need to be able to keep this business running. And then from there upward, sweet, you're in positive territory and you're doing even better. Yeah, profit. That's right.
Yeah. And we
Yeah.
also have a program with our subbies. That's another thing, if they're looking at that as well, is we don't set up our subcontractors to be totally at the top. Our subcontractors have to be the right frame line, and that's what everyone has to do. If they're going to grow, get the right sort of people that will work with you. I've worked in places where the people just don't gel, and the clients feel it, and the atmosphere is wrong. Our atmosphere is totally set up that when we have people come and sit and read books in there just because they can.
Yeah,
And we have tea. We have Mongolian tea that I bring back from Mongolia, and they just sit and they'll read a book and then they'll go. They're clients, but that's it. And we say, hi, how are you going? You okay? Do you want a water? No, you okay? All right. Do you want booking? No, I'm okay. And we go back to our client, and we have a separation, so they have a room, a safe place.
How fantastic, because that's really testament to the community that you're building, that people are just coming in literally just to enjoy the space and to be there.
There's a bit of nursing in the back of that somewhere. It is about, wouldn't you like that? I mean, I know what I'd like. When I started studying, I went to a different remedial every week in Perth for 18 months. I did not find one that I felt, honestly, and I'm not just super fussy, I did not find one that I would go back to. And that is when I said, okay, that's not good enough. It's technical. It was just so technical. People did not care about me. And that's why you get this intelligent massage that's coming out now, because people are sitting on tables and they're walking away feeling depleted. We have our supermarket massages where they don't even ask your name. And it's like, well, I've got a broken neck, but you're bending my head back and forth. And these sort of things, which is not the way it should be. And I think the evolution is happening with the compliance and everything else. It's evolution. It's like what the physios had to do. I've got a client whose husband was a physio 40 years ago, but he was a witch doctor. Nobody wanted to know them. Now look at where they are. And they have a standard, and people can go there. They know they're going to be looked after. Whether or not they're brilliant doesn't matter. They've got the structure. And I think that's what's happening with massage and wellness. It's evolving.
Yeah, I agree. The whole industry, massage specifically, but the whole broader wellness and natural therapies industry is all becoming more and more legitimate. I'm going to use the word legitimate in the sense that it's kind of being formalized and being recognized as legitimate by more and more people. And as that happens, it naturally just builds the industry up even higher, because the people who are professionals, who are doing things well, are the ones that can sort of rise on top of that trend and set the standard for everybody else. And it sounds like you've got a really unique business going on there that's being quite successful in the way that you've got clients coming in and loving what you do, and the community that's forming there, and the team that is also there of your staff. It's fantastic to hear that you're in such an amazing place right now. But I know that every business has to start somewhere, and every business has struggles along the way. What would you say have been your biggest challenges in getting the business to where it is now? If you look right at the journey from right wherever you started to now, what were your times of biggest challenge?
I think when you're in a partnership, the first thing is ego. The biggest challenge is dealing with your ego. And being successful business women, and not only just, we tried an intern program, and we were so sure that it was going to be okay, and we paid our interns and everything else, but we did the smart thing. We put them on probation. The interesting thing was they didn't want it. It wasn't what they wanted. They wanted nurturing. I want that. I want more money. I want this. I want that, and everything else. And we learned a lot from it. It was humiliating in a way. It was good because even though they were nice people, and our clients liked them, but they wouldn't book a lot with them, it enabled us to, and we do this, and this is the thing about myself and my business partner, is we constantly sit back and review every day. Check it out. If it's not working right, then review it and deal and dump it, and as soon as possible. And if we've got clients that turn around and say, I really would like that. The big thing is to let go that, you put a lot of energy into it, and you have to manage that. You have to manage how much time and how much effort and do a good work-life practice. So I will work 4 solid days, and I will work, with a very minimal breaks, but that's how I work. My business partner will work 6 days, but have less people and more days. And it's more demand. That's the other thing you have to be careful too, is people want you.
Yeah.
And if they want you, that's difficult, because we will want to be obligated, and we will want to make them happy, and that's just what we do as human beings.
Yeah.
And I think that was a lesson as well, is to learn to say, this is a business. This is not my life, and have your 5-year plan, have your 12 months of most important, have your 3 months, your 6 months, your 12 months, and that 18 months and 3 years. People often go straight from 12 months to 3 years to 5 years. No, and check it all the time. Listen to your people. We have feedback forms for every client.
Fantastic.
And if a student's there, every single massage they do, they get a feedback form. And they're not polite feedback forms. They are very much in your face. They ask the right questions, but our students and ourselves are tested every time. We aspire to be a 4+. We sit pretty high, so we're not too worried. I think we've had 1 3, but most of the time we're 5. So,
great.
And we expect them to lie. People lie too. People, not that they're having to go at them, but they will tell you what they want you to know. They don't want to upset you.
Yeah.
So we get them to do it over and over again, and we'll randomly say, now write something. And the older ones, the ones who've been there a while, yes, bit hard, they got bony fingers. Things like that. And it's like, but it's good. And so we will constantly review each other. We have chats and we say, what do you think about how I'm going with that? We work with each other. We don't charge each other for working on each other. It's part of the team. Everybody has to have massages, not just a normal massage. Everything we sell, because every one of them has to sell what we sell.
Yeah, how
so they've
fantastic.
got to try it. And if they fall in love with it, like the hot stone massage, the remedial hot stone, people love. We have a Balinese massage, so people love that. So they will, I want to do that. And we have a couple of research things going on where we've got one of our students is actually studying magnetherapy with aroma touch and stuff like that. We have another one who did a lot of Bali massage, and they're all remedial, because we work basically with remedial. We have counselling stuff going on. So it's very much, to me, it's about when we made issues, and we meet as the directors and managers, we also meet every week and chat about, and we'll say to each other, you're a bit grumpy. And the other one says, yeah, was I? And we allow ourselves to say that instead of going, really? And I think you've got to do that and take your ego out of it and bring your self-esteem up, because people will know. They know if you're not right, and it goes through your fingers and your hands.
Yeah, and I can hear that you've got a really open and honest team culture there too. That's really what that's about. It's
that's really important. Yeah.
It comes back to trust. Everyone on your team trusts each other enough to be honest with them, but also to hear honest words. Because when you hear honest words from someone that you trust, you actually take action on it. You don't have that kind of drawn back reaction.
Yeah, that defense. Yeah.
Yeah, the defense.
Which we would do, and you'll always do it.
It's natural, that's right.
Repetitive, and you're hearing it, it becomes a norm. So you don't find it something that stands out and makes you upset. And we say, like, you'll have people driving for ages, and they'll come in, they're going, I don't want to drive up here for 2 clients. We say, okay, what can we do about it?
Yeah.
And they go, oh, okay, all right, we can do this.
So they're empowered to help as well.
We still do the defense. Doesn't matter how well we get on together. You're still,
Yeah.
And that's human, being human. That's the beauty. We have a rule, 80-20 rule. 80% good, 20% debauchery. And that's how we live. You think about it. That's how we live. And
I
we
love it.
can't go against. I'm not going to teach people, oh, you must go and have all this and have all that. What do you think will work for you? And if I give you 10 exercises, you're going to do none of them. So let's not contemplate your navel. Let you tell me what you need. And let's give you 5-minute exercises that I know you'll do.
Yeah.
So it's about, and it's a lot of experience, you know, we've learnt this. I broke my back, so I spent 10 months not walking. So I know what it's like not to be able to have anyone listen to you, you know, especially going back to those days. It's quite a few years ago. So
Yeah.
those lessons we learnt as we were going along, we're still learning and we love it. We're always learning. We're
Yeah.
always learning.
And a learning culture is fantastic as well. Do you think you've done anything specific to make that culture happen in your business with your team? Like that culture of openness, honesty, of feedback, and of learning?
Yeah, we do. We deliberately set it up. We set them up in a comfort zone. We actually are quite touchy-feely people as well. We hug. We hug our
Great.
clients. Our clients, I mean, because as you know, you get clients who come in and they are stressed or upset. The husband's left, the mother's died, baby's sick. It could be anything. And if you don't look at all that, how can the body get any better? So we straight away start to work with that. And we work with the people who work for us or work with us, we actually get them to notice that too. Most of them are over 37. They've got their own lives, so they will deliberately demand when and where and how they work. And we say to them, you're subbies, you do what you like. We do not own you. You can pick any day what you like. We'll just adjust to suit what you do. You know, we'll move it around. You know, there's
Great.
no stress. But it's about, and when that client does come in and it's stressed out like that, sometimes they, you know, and they don't want to talk to you and da da da. And you just work with them, you know, how you going? What's been happening? Da da da. Sometimes they don't get on the bed until they've got 20 minutes left in the session. But that's how we work. It's not just about getting you on the bed and doing a technique. If you want to talk to me, and that's what we'll do.
Yeah.
And they know that. No massage is ever the same, ever. And it may not be a massage. It may be a holistic human development counselling, or it may be, you know, a balance, or it could be just let me cry, you know. So that's what it's about, them.
Yeah.
And that, I think, is the biggest USP that we've got.
Yeah.
That this unique selling thing. It's because it is about them. So if people focus on that client, ask them what they need. If you ask a client what they need, your business is never going to stop growing because you're always working within that.
Yeah, I love it. And I also love that you've got quite an authentic, very holistic approach to what you're actually delivering. Like, even though it sounds like you're primarily massage based and then some other
Remedial
modalities,
based, basically.
remedial based, you're just so like honestly and authentically open to all sorts of other things being part of a treatment for the clients. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is, if you looked at our website, we have a list of stuff that's huge, but it evolves because, and it's fluid. It's constantly moving because we can't just offer, you can have that. Well, you're different to me. You know, your partner's different to you. My husband's different to me. Kids are different. They're not the same, you know, and we work with children as well, because we've all got that. We've all got working with children. We've all got history of working with children. We do meditation. We do that sort of stuff as well. So you have to be able to, I believe anyway, you have to be able to step back, really observe what is the most important thing that client wants and what does it want to have to leave today. You know, and I say it because it could be any gender.
Yeah. Fantastic. Like, I think that's really good. And I'm just excited by the vision that you're sharing. It sounds like your clinic is absolutely amazing and groundbreaking in what it's being able to do there, which is fantastic.
You have to come over and visit
I
us.
will. Next time I'm over in Perth, I'll definitely look you up and come down.
No problem.
What would you say, like, as far as just if you could look back at your journey and say, what is your biggest, proudest moment or biggest achievement? Like, is there anything that's a very specific moment or thing that happened that made you think, yes, this is evidence to myself that we're doing the right thing, that I'm on the right path? What are you most proud of in that whole journey?
Well, we were proud when we got published. That was good. We got published in a magazine, Australian Health, I think it was called, I can't remember. I'm not even sure if they're still going. And probably other than that, I get referred clients from a pain management specialist because, medical and allied health or
Yeah.
complementary medicine, it's not usually taken serious. I mean, I remember seeing doctors when I had a broken back and I had 9 specialists I saw and they all kept going, oh, yeah. And I went and saw this and acupuncturist and naturopaths and you name it. And it was like, the osteopath was the only one that really helped me at the time. But they all shunned it. It was all shunned. So I think the recognition, Standards Council is really important to me. I'm really proud to be a part of that and the change and the progress that Australia is going to go through.
Fantastic.
Compliance.
Yeah.
The fact that people, and it's not about taking people out. It's about getting people educated to stay in.
Yeah, okay,
That's
great.
what I believe. When I audit people, I'm not going in there to say, well, you shouldn't do that. No. Okay, look, I can't tell you what you can do, but go find someone who can. Because you can change this. You can get yourself back up there and look after yourself, The other thing I suppose is my clients. My clients are my proudest.
Yeah.
And my family. My family are very critical and they're very big and they refer, and I'm very proud about that.
That's fantastic.
It's simple, but it's effective, Every client that comes in and that smile, because I'm an ex-nurse who did oncology and stuff, when you saw that smile on somebody's face, it's the best thing ever.
That's fantastic.
That's it. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's simple, I know. But really, what is life all about? It's about relationships. It's about being, and not putting yourself out there. I'm not Mother Teresa, I mean, we're quite selfish. We do this as a business, we get off on people being happy. It's a fact.
Yeah, I love it.
It's true, isn't it? It's so true. You walk along and you see a little baby dancing, you just can't help it. You take that energy and go, oh, I feel good now.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about us as humans, is we do that. I think we're still, every time that we do a new thing, a new challenge comes up, because we don't treat them as obstacles. They're just another opportunity for us to go in a different direction. Every time we do that, we get excited. And we get excited. All of us get excited, And it's like, and we won't keep the subbies all the time. They'll evolve and move on and go and do their own thing and hopefully become very good and learn about being a holistic therapist and looking after themselves. Because I've seen so many burn out financially, physically, so many. And it shouldn't be that way, because it's one of the biggest issues we have is our soft tissue.
Yeah, that's cool. What can you share a little bit about your work with the Standards Council and what you're doing there? What's that like at the moment for you?
I'm new at it. I was on the first meeting today, but the purpose is to bring massage up to a standard where it's not considered, I think, more than anything, to be just one of those little things that people do. It's actually beneficial. It's about getting it certified, so certification, and I'd encourage every single therapist, whether they're at home or working for somebody else, to get yourself certified, because what I believe is going to happen in the future is that's who people are going to choose. They're going to turn around and go, and I don't know if it's true, but I'd say ultimately the health funds are going to be looking at that as well and going, it's a bit like your 3 ticks. You know how you go and people get your ISO 9001, whatever, all those sort of things. It gives you a badge of honour. And that's why we're doing it. We actually have our audit on the 21st.
Wow, there you go.
I know. And then we're moving and have to have another one. So that's fine. So it's very much about bringing Australia, and I think this is a forerunner for the world. I'm not exactly sure, but it's bringing Australia up to a standard like physios, like OTs. It's a certification that will enable people to say, that's a trusted, reliable source for me to go to.
Yeah, great.
And it's being driven by AAMT, the Massage Myotherapy. And I think that's great. For an association to take that on, I'm pleased about it. I'm a member of a couple of associations, but you've got somebody who you can go to and say, what are the rules across everybody? If I go to New South Wales, what's the rules? If I want to start up the same thing, am I going to have to go through this, this, and this, and this? It's all different. See, all of our staff have to have working with children, first aid. They have to have the insurance. We make them have more than they're supposed to have.
Yeah.
And that sets them up so that their standard's high straight away.
Yeah, great.
So that's what I think it's doing, is giving a balance across. And I'm enjoying it. I mean, I like it. I don't do a lot because we don't sit a lot. It's still going to be going through the government eventually and everything else. But, and I would eventually there should be heaps of people wanting to jump on it. Experts from everywhere should want to jump on it and try and get involved.
It does sound like the goal of raising that professional standard of massage, that's something that I very much align to. I don't actually know that much about the specifics of what that will look like or what it will mean for the industry.
Right. Yeah.
I think there are a lot of grey areas there, and we probably won't really know until it happens, until we're in it and we're doing that.
It's evolving all the time.
Exactly, that's right. But it is really interesting just to hear of it going on now and to hear someone who's actually involved with that being so positive about the future in that direction. So that's really good. The last thing I always ask everyone is, do you have any advice that you would give other therapists who are either just starting out or might have been working for a while but are earlier along in their journey, specifically about the business side of things? Do you have any advice for people who are coming along that you've learned from your journey?
I found that's actually interesting because I found a lot of different people I've worked with. There's people who want to work for someone, and there's the people who want to go out on their own.
Yeah.
And that's the same across the board. I think the important thing is that you've got the choice. A lot of people I know who work for people didn't think they had the choice.
Ah, interesting.
And they went, oh my God, I couldn't do that. Or they looked at the person who was running around running it and they're going, oh, that means you have to do rosters and da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
Most important thing is read. Get more education, Look at the people who are successful. Go and ask to spend a week in the clinic. The voodoo's got to go about, this is my clinic, share it. I would advise that from people who are actually in it. The one thing I learned was working next to a clinic once, and another clinic built right next door to them, and they both became very successful. It built both clinics. And I think that's the thing, is never be afraid to step out, to believe what you do. Sure, the compliance will give you a standard and rules you can do it in. The one thing I think is important also is people demand from their colleges to teach them how to run a business and how not to run a business. I think that's a big thing. You can get help from governments and do small business courses online and stuff like that, but that's not the same. And people go, I've already studied, now I'm going to have to go and do more studying. I've got kids at home and I'm all the rest of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get as much advice as you can.
Yeah, and education really is the key with that sort of thing.
Important.
I'm a huge believer in taking action once you know what to do, whereas people who say, oh, it's all just too hard, I don't know what to do, the opportunity is there. You're right. In today's environment, there's so many channels that you can learn a lot of this stuff. You need to be able to proactively say, well, this is what I don't know. This is what I haven't been taught in my qualification. But here's where I can get that information. And here's someone that I know that is already doing well. I'm going to talk to them about it, or I'm going to model them. I'm going to just, hang around them, find a mentor.
Yeah.
All of that.
All the associations have that info. on all their on their websites. And don't be afraid to make a mistake and change something, That's the most important. If it doesn't suit you, don't do it.
I love it. Fantastic advice. And thank you so much for being on the podcast today. It's been a really interesting discussion to hear a bit about your business and what you're doing, and the uniqueness of it. The love that you've got for your clients and your staff is really apparent. So well done. And thank you so much for being here and passing on your wisdom.
No worries. Thank you.